There's a lot of comedians in the room that I'm sure would love to know what it's like going on the road with Andrew Dice Clay. And
fuck yeah.
If any wild...
The key for... I was lucky. I was in an era of Andrew Dice Clay where he was experimenting with sleep medication. So I got to experience Ambien Andrew Dice Clay, which at first I just thought, like, I was 23 years old at the time, and I was positive that, like, oh, this is so funny. Andrew Dice Clay calls me, and he pretends to be a black guy, and it's just hilarious, right? You're like, oh, that's funny. That's pretty cool. No. This dude was straight hallucinating in the middle of the night. He would call, my phone would ring at like 4 in the morning, and I'd be like, oh, it's Dice. And this would be if I was in town, if we were on the road. He just would call you. You'd answer, hey, motherfucker, this is Marvin. And you're like, oh, God. I just made it rain with my giant black dick. And, like, it's one of those things, like, his impression is so bad, he has to reference in hallucination how black he is so that you know the character is black. So I was convinced it was just him fucking around. And then we were in Miami, and we had to fly at like 5 in the morning or something like that. And Dice was still tripping fucking balls at the airport. He's yelling at the fucking security guy. At that point, he thought he was a drill instructor. And the guy obviously knows it's Dice. And he's just like, sir, did you have your luggage? And he's like, oh, where are you stationed at, soldier? And I was positive we're going to get arrested. Doesn't break the whole time. Dude was just fucking hallucinating.
Wow.
So for like 6 months, that was my life. Was like 3 times a week getting a phone call from Andrew Dice Clay.
What happened at the end of 6 months? He stopped taking Ambien?
Yeah, at that point, I think there was a situation where he would like wake his kid up and they would drive around while he was hallucinating and pick up garbage. He would like fill his Escalade with trash. And so then after that, he was like, this isn't safe. That was one of those eye-opening.
Wow.
You go out to your car and it's filled with the entire neighborhood's garbage. And you're like, oh.
Holy
and when I heard that,
shit.
I'm like, oh, I don't necessarily think he's fucking around now. Now I think he's hallucinating. So yeah, that was that. I got to meet O.J. Simpson.
With Dice?
With Dice. Because Dice wouldn't meet O.J., second fiddle. O.J. wanted to meet someone, god damn it.
What did O.J. smell like? Did he have a smell? Because that's one thing I've always
He
wondered
was
with
sweaty,
O.J.
and he was giant, and his hands were enormous. He put his arm around me, and I literally thought I was going to be crushed to death.
Oh.
He had like a 27-year-old blonde girl with him, just ready to die, didn't care.
Wow.
He kept, take pictures. He made her take like 8 pictures of us at the bar.
He would shout at them like that?
Screaming at her, what are you doing? Take pictures. And I told OJ about how much I love the Naked Gun. You should have seen the fucking smile on this guy's face. Oh, man, no one ever tells me that. Yeah, there's a fucking reason, OJ.
Wow.
You're a fucking legendary football player and you murder people. So that comes up first before the Naked Gun.
When was the time frame that you met him? Was that before? After he got away with it or before?
Oh, yeah, this is after that. This is...
Wow.
I mean, he got away
it
with
had
it in
to have been.
94. I was 12.
Yeah, I guess so.
Although it would have
Jesus.
made more sense to be on a Dice Clay tour then.
All right.
Was this during his selling black market satellite service? Did you remember those days?
I know he was in Florida because they wouldn't take his money there, I think. So he was stuck in Miami. And, yeah, he just loved Dice, loved everything. He remembered all my jokes that I told, which was really creepy because then you're like, oh, OJ's the annoying fan. Oh, you know what I liked? And you're like, oh, God, shut the fuck up, OJ. But you can't tell OJ that because he'll fucking kill you.
Of course.
Yeah. And yeah, I met Mitch Hedberg like 5 minutes later. And then I gave Mitch Hedberg back a bag of pills that I found in the hotel room.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. And then he was dead like 6 months later. But not because of those vitamins
I thought you were going to say 6
that
minutes.
I returned to him. No, it's just I got to the hotel, and we were staying at the Four Seasons in Coconut Grove or whatever, and the Improv just owns the 2 suites that they have. So it was like the comics that were there the week before were staying in the same suite, and I checked in, and we got to my room. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And then I opened up the drawer where like the shitty Bible's supposed to be, and there was no Bible. It was just a bag of pills, unmarked. And I was like, double dare. Wow. You know, you got to fucking risk. Do you take them? Do you not? I was trying to figure out what they were. No. And then when I met Mitch Hedberg, he was like, hey, you didn't find like a bag of like pills in the room. I was like, yes, I did.
Oh.
He came back, got him the next day, and yeah, he's dead.
That was
Wow.
about 6 months later. He was
Yes,
dead.
it
You
wasn't
could have
an immediate
saved him
death.
right there. Why didn't you?
Listen, I'm not going to deprive a man of what he needs when he's in Miami.